Thank you. Thank you.
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and what you're doing with that book? Oh.
I wonder where this is different. Do all the things again.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
great.
hoping that that would come up.
All right, let me see. Stop. But how did you... I'll go.
So I need 2,000 money every time I load in if I want that to happen. I guess you could just like spend a few cycles stealing money from Aurelia and then that other chest.
Oh, you're here. I'm so glad. And, there's a...
Let's just say not interested, sorry.
Why? Just because I'm a woman? Let's just forget.
I'm looking for Khabash. Have you seen him?
Not for a few weeks now. Last time I saw him, he was sitting at a table with Georgius, whispering about some job.
Oh, was
I
he?
remember because they kept looking over their shoulders as if they didn't want anyone else to know. So, naturally, I hovered. The one
Fair.
word I kept hearing was vanishing. And then, the next day, Khabash just disappeared. Coincidence? I think not.
That is very interesting.
All right. See ya.
You, Sisyphus, that's just as the... But it... Say it. Then... I thought I had... he gives... there the... as there others, I hope, and now...
Cool. So she is good? I guess. Now I gotta talk to Georgius. I also want to check the obelisk and see if the plaque that I put there is still there. I'm looking for Khabash, and I heard you were one of the last people to see him.
Ah, I knew this day would come. I do not wish to lie to you, my friend, but even discussing this matter is dangerous. Please, let us leave the live coals safely beneath the ash.
You can trust me. We foreigners have to stick together, remember?
Very well, but the magistrate would not look kindly upon this, so please keep it to yourself. For several months now, I have been sneaking out at night to worship the gods of my ancestors in the temple of Demeter. Each day, I leave offerings of food in the hope that we may have a bountiful harvest, and yet the next day when I return, the food is missing.
How strange.
So I ask, who or what is devouring the food in this temple? Stranger still. Once I sat in front of my shop like the 100-eyed Argus until dawn to see if I could spot a thief going in, but do you know what I saw?
I have no idea.
Nothing. Nobody entered, and yet when I went to take a look, my offering was gone. It is bizarre, is it not? When I told my friend Khabash of this at the tavern, he offered to help investigate. He went in, and to my dismay, he was never seen again.
I'm off to the Temple of Demeter then.
I do not think you should pursue this, my friend. It would break my heart to be responsible for two people
That's
disappearing.
fine. Don't worry about me.
But you do not strike me as a kind of person to be deterred by such warnings, so just be careful, I beg you.
Is the Temple of Demeter?
You there? I'm sorry to trouble
this
you, but
again.
I couldn't help but notice that fine bow you're carrying. No idea how you managed to get your hands on it, especially in the light of our dear old magistrate's ban. But I'm impressed. And before you ask, no, I wouldn't dream of trying to buy it from you. I have no use for a wooden bow myself. But I would like to propose a joint business venture of sorts.
I'm curious to see what he says, so yeah, go on.
Tell me, do you have any idea how people here end up as golden statues?
The statues come to life and fire golden bows arrows at them.
And here I was thinking I was the only one to figure it out. In any case, supposedly 1 or 2 of those arrows is enough to turn a full-grown man into gold. Now, of course, that is a travesty, a terrible, horrible waste of human life, which has to be stopped. And yet, on the other hand, I can't help but think of a tale told by that Greek fella Aesop, the goose that laid the golden egg. With the ability to transmute organic matter into gold, one could create infinite wealth. Use your imagination, golden animals, insects, trees and plants. The Midas touch without the drawbacks. We are talking riches beyond imagining. And even if we were to split all those riches between the 2 of us, half of infinite wealth is still infinite. Interested?
I wonder if I could turn all those vines into gold and then I could climb up them. I'm interested.
Excellent. So the first question is, how do we get our hands on one of those golden bows? Now, I have a plan, but first, tell me, are you familiar with the story of the goddess Diana?
Let's say not really.
No problem.
Can't
Allow me to
remember.
explain. Diana is our goddess of the hunt, the moon, and the underworld, depending on who you ask. The one thing priests and poets agree on is that she carried with her a golden bow and a quiver of golden arrows. And it just so happens that there is a shrine of Diana in this very forum, with a prominent statue of the goddess herself. And would you like to guess what she's holding in her hand? Precisely. I can't tell you how many hours I've spent in that temple staring at it, trying to figure out how to retrieve it without breaking...
Aren't there a bunch of golden bows? But you want me to steal it.
Oh, gods no! If you tried that, we'd all be dead within moments, I'm sure. No, here's what I propose. You give your bow to me, I cover it in a thin layer of gold leaf, and we create a replica of a golden bow. Then, you enter the shrine, extinguish the braziers, and under cover of darkness, swap out the fake for the original. It's not theft exactly, it's more of a trade. But make no mistake, this is a dangerous path, and there's no way of knowing where it will lead. But in my experience, all the best adventures begin with a risky first step. Now, you must have questions. Ask away.
Why can't you do it yourself?
I'm more of an ideas man, whereas you're obviously the more resourceful and heroic type. I have complete confidence in you.
Why can't I just take it?
Because the gods would see you, of course. Hence my proposal.
Isn't that extremely dangerous?
When Prometheus stole fire from the gods and became a hero to all mankind, do you think he was worried about the danger?
Prometheus was also punished for eternity, if I recall correctly.
Only because he was silly enough to get caught.
That's all the questions I had.
So, are you in, partner?
You know what? Yeah. Horror. Oh no. Don't tell me there's horror. But this is the only... I'm imagining being able to turn the vines and stuff into gold in order to climb them. I don't know how else we would do this. I would like to try this. Alright, I'll do it.
Wonderful. Now, if you'll hand over your bow, I can get started applying a layer of gold leaf. This is a quality weapon. Now, bear with me for a moment.
But it makes it sound
Here
like
we are,
you
a
don't
gold
need to
leaf
swap
bow.
the bows in order to finish the game. I guess. Fake golden bow.
Now, I've gone and unlocked the Shrine of Diana for you, so as quick as you can, head on inside. It's just at the end of the street on the left. May the gods not watch over you.
That's funny. So what, is no one supposed to see me go in, or? Enter the Shrine of Diana. Extinguish the braziers. What the hell? There's a bee's nest in here. Oh boy. Alright, let's do this.
Is that you, partner? Do you have the bow?
Is he gonna lock me in here? Yes, I have it.
Wonderful. Just go ahead and slide it under the door for me and I'll unlock it for you.
Dick! I knew I shouldn't have trusted you.
And yet you did. And now, here we are. With me out here, and you in there. Until you give me my bow.
How is this not against the golden rule? You said you'd split the riches between the two of us.
No, technically, I never said that. I said, if we were to split all those riches between the two of us, infinite wealth is still infinite. It's hardly my fault if you can't tell the difference between a hypothetical and a promise, now is it? Oh, I do love a good loophole.
Yeah, I know you do. How can I trust you after you double-cross me like this? Let me out right now, or when I free myself, I'm going to kill you. That breaks the golden rule. Am I stuck in here? If I threaten to kill people, that breaks the golden rule. If he's got me locked in here, I won't be able to make it back. How can I trust you after you've double-crossed me like this?
You're just gonna have to take your chances, I'm afraid. The bow, now. And don't even think about giving me the fake one. I'll recognize my own handiwork.
There's no way I'm giving you this bow. I'll find another way out. Even if I gave it to you, you'd probably just leave me in here. Forget it.
I would reconsider my position quickly if I were you. I'm not sure if you noticed, but you're stuck in there with a hornet's nest, and they can be rather aggressive toward intruders. You know, some say it takes 27 hornet stings to kill a man, but I always wondered how anyone could have known that. Let's find out how many it takes to kill a woman, shall we?
Escape the temple. Will this really turn everything to gold? If I shoot the hornet's nest, that won't turn all of them into gold, will it? That is a real golden bow. Alright. I'm probably overthinking this, right? But the only thing I can think to do is shoot the hornet's nest. I'm not sure what else to do. Well, it did turn it gold. Oh. Let's go! Interesting. Ah, that was fun. Find a way to return to the city. There are more of those peeled golden statues down here. This is a new area, I think. Guild, your first thing! Golden Archer. Wow. So this is how you can turn things into gold with a golden bow. So exciting. Naevia's journal.
My beloved Galatea, I write this so that one day, when we're finally together, you will understand what I've done and why I had to do it. The others will call me mad or a monster, but I don't care what they think. Everything I'm doing here, I'm doing for you. I'll start at the beginning. Soon after my arrival here, as I walked down a corridor lined with golden statues, I thought I heard a whisper behind me. A rasp of air, as if vocal cords of metal strained to say a word or two. I tried to dismiss the idea, tried to concentrate on my work as the city's medic, but that tortured whisper haunted me. Weeks later, in the hallway to the bathhouse, I heard it again. My beloved Galatea, I write this so that one day, when we're finally together, you will understand what I've done and why I had to do it. The others will call me mad or a monster.
What's
but
this
I don't
way?
care what they think. Everything I'm doing here.
This is the crushed
I'm doing for
guy.
you. I'll start at the beginning. Soon after my arrival here, as I walked down a corridor lined with golden statues, I thought I heard a whisper behind me. A rasp of air, as if vocal cords of metal strained to say a word or two. I tried to dismiss the idea, tried to concentrate on my work as the city's medic, but that tortured whisper haunted me. Weeks later, in the hallway to the bathhouse, I heard it again and found myself drawn to the
Can I jump that
statue
far?
of a Roman woman wearing a stola. Her face was contorted with anguish and fear, and disturbingly, it was as if she was looking right at me. As I walked past her, I heard that strained whisper again, and turning back, I discovered that even though I had moved, she was still looking right into my soul. That was when it dawned on me. This was no statue. This was a woman trapped within that golden prison. Naturally, I told the others, but when I could not reproduce the results of my experiment, they would not believe me. But from that moment on, I knew the full horror of this place. Immobilized within these statues are living human beings. It was that day, my love, that my heart broke.
We're in the palace. This is so cool. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for this. Oh my gosh. Can't go that way. Yeah, those are some serious heavy beams. Oh my gosh. What? That was mean. So I'm wondering. Thought maybe Thought maybe the statue was Naevia, and that other one in the cistern was the guy that disappeared, Hannibal. But I'm not sure that that's the case now. Come on. That's a person.
You're not supposed to be here.
Is that it? 3 of them? Get out of my way. So mean. What do you want me to shoot? I don't really want to waste arrows. 80 arrows, is that enough? Okay. Oh my word, can I shoot it through? Should I shoot that? Should I wait? Ooh, another tunnel. Let's wait. I want to go over here first. This is fun. My goodness. Come on. Can you go over there? I can't go in here? Alright, I guess we're going down the tunnel. Oh my god, there's so many of them. This is really cool. This is very interesting. Turning things to gold. Miss. Where are you? Headshots. If you get a headshot, you only have to hit him once. Oh my goodness. Is Naevia gonna be upset? I mean, why were they not attacking her? Does she keep them safe? What was the point in that? I mean, why not? Oh my gosh, yes. We just have to make it back with that in our inventory and not die.
My beloved Galatea, after I learned the terrible truth about the golden statues,
Oops.
I wandered the city, my beloved Galatea. After I learned the terrible truth about the golden statues, I wandered the city as if in a nightmare. What must life be like for these poor souls, entombed in gold, but kept alive somehow? Trapped in their own personal Tartarus, consigned to eternal torment, too horrific for any sane mind to comprehend. I tried to offer them what small mercies I could. I began to talk to them, to keep them company. I'd imagine backstories for them, give them names, and tell them of the world, of the histories and stories I'd learned as a child. As the others became more concerned by my charity, I sought solitude from them, preferring the company of my tormented charges.
Oh my god.
Discovering a way into the abandoned palace, I began to spend my days walking its halls and sharing with its occupants ancient tales, my mind turning to those of Apollo and Daphne,
Oh my
Perseus
god.
and Medusa,
Oh my
and
god.
Pygmalion and Galatea. Pygmalion, the sculptor who fell in love with a beautiful statue, and who, praying to Aphrodite for aid, discovered that his beloved Galatea had come to life. It was then that I heard you whisper to me, Galatea. Forgive me. I know that is not your real name, just one I have borrowed from a story. But when I turned to look at you, I saw the most exquisitely beautiful woman I have ever known. Your face, forever frozen in a look of haunting sadness. Our meeting gave me new purpose, to free you from your golden prison, so that I might one day hear you speak, not just as her true name to me. So I gathered tools for the long and difficult task ahead, barred the doors to this place, and set to work.
Wow. Can I get through here? No. So turning the curtains into gold means I can't get through. Gosh. That is not open to me. Nope. No. Oh, we can go over this. Oh, no, we can't. Just kidding. So this probably doesn't open either. Okay. Oh my goodness. So I'm actually sort of familiar with the tale of Pygmalion and Galatea. I've heard that one before. So when she said Galatea, I was a little like, you know, that's kind of... Oh my god, this is awesome. I did think that was a little odd. Don't want to, you know, shoot. Oh my god, I should have shot the curtain. Apparently. I guess that wasn't too bad. I was trying to not shoot the curtains so that, like, I wouldn't get, you know, stuck or not be able to go into that room. A young Roman woman with her arms raised, as if suddenly terrified by something unknown. She looks like she's in a place of honor, but I don't think that's Galatea. More garum. Am I going the right way? Or do I need to go back and climb those vines? Or is that the right way? Here. No, nice. It's a right way, I guess. It's just a way to get around the curtains real quick. Okay. What's with the jugs that you can shoot? I don't really understand that. I have tips on? I didn't think so, but... Oh.
My beloved Galatea, my attempts at freeing these souls from their golden prisons have not been going to plan. My first charge was a Greek woman who I called Iodame after the Athenian turned to stone by Medusa. Drilling through the gold that encased her, I was vindicated by the discovery that beneath half an inch of gold, which is so rigid it must be some kind of alloy, was living flesh. Unfortunately, this golden alloy seems to have fused with her skin, so removing it exposed the sinew and muscle beneath and appeared to cause her great pain. At first, I braced myself, expecting that inflicting such pain would break the golden rule, and yet, somehow, it did not. It seems whichever god is responsible for imprisoning these poor souls does not care about their suffering at all. They are forsaken, undeterred.
She did lose it
on,
a little bit.
Working late into the night, attempting to remove the golden layer that encased
Oh
her
my
as
god,
hard
that
as it
scared
ever
me.
could. Eventually, I was able to clean most of her body, but when I released her from her restraints, her first act was to lunge for my throat, clawing at me with all her strength and those sharp metal talons. This was my thanks for trying to save her. Whatever possessed Iodame to attack, she was clearly not a suitable subject for my experiment, and I was forced to lock her inside an isolated wing of the palace and bar the door. As I continued working on others, I could feel her flailing and launching herself at the other side endlessly. Regrettably, my other experiments had similar results, and after relocating a few times, most of the palace is now too dangerous to work in. Still, as much as my heart aches to know that you're suffering, I cannot risk attempting to ungild you yet. Not until I have perfected a method that will bring you back
Oh my god.
to whole in both soul and body, and ensuring your humanity is preserved. I promise you this. One day we will be together, even if I have to free every last statue in this god's forsaken place.
Oh my goodness, this is pretty horrific. As we callously kick the statues down, out of our way. Ah. Apparently that was a headshot. Oh my god, this is horrific. She's been doing this for 3 weeks. Huh, this looks like the cloth that was under her desk. It appears to be dead. Evidently its death didn't break the golden rule. That is very interesting. And horrible. This is, I mean, truly something else. Yeah, wow. Wow, okay. Hey! Half-peeled statue. Oh no. You can talk? This says, are you whispering to me through the statue somehow? I'm gonna say you can talk. Behind me? Behind me? Who are you? Yeah, no shit. You must be Naevia. Hi.
And you must be the wretched snake who broke into my palace and disturbed my experiments. And worst of all, look at what you made me do to her. This
What?
never would have happened if you just stayed away. You're going to pay for that.
Golden rule broken. If you attack me, we'll both end up encased in gold. This has nothing to do with me. Good luck with that, draw golden bow. I don't know if she's gonna listen if I try to reason with her. If you attack me, we'll both end up encased in gold.
And you think I care
Yeah, I
about that?
was expecting that.
I don't care what happens to me, as long as you get what you deserve.
This has nothing to do with me? I don't think she'll listen to that either. It's given me another chance to attack her. But that would break the...
Liar! I locked and barred the gate. I left a message warning you all to leave me alone. I just wanted to do my experiments in peace, for her. And now look at her. You made me turn the most beautiful woman I've ever seen into this. Look at her. She's in agony. All I wanted was to spend my last moments with her, to see her beautiful face, to hear her speak freely, instead of in those cryptic whispers. But as soon as I began my work, she stopped whispering to me. And now I discover she started whispering to you instead.
Alright, look.
What's so special about you?
It's not just this statue whispering to me. A lot of them do it, but it's always the same voice. I didn't hear any whispers. It sounds like you've lost your mind. Let's be straight up with her on this one.
What do you mean, the same voice?
It's like someone else is whispering to me through the statues.
Yes. I remember when they used to whisper to me. They did sound similar. I just thought it was because all voices sound the same when they whisper. But now that I think about it, they were all benevolent and seemed to share a common knowledge. But if these bodies are mere conduits for that one voice, then this body is nobody. And everything I've done here was
Fucking barbaric.
Wait, I see what you're doing. You're trying to steal her away from me. Were you planning to wait until I'd done all the hard work, then swoop in? Is that it?
Yes, because I want this statue. I want to take this statue for my own.
Liar! You tried to steal her away from me, and now look what you made me do. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't peel you too.
I ended up here by accident. All I want to do is leave. Or I've heard enough of this. Again, they're giving me another chance. I am so insistent on thinking that drawing, threatening her life would break the golden rule, and I don't want to do that. I just don't feel like I'm done here. Let's say the top one. I ended up here by accident. All I want to do is leave.
What? What are you talking about?
I got trapped in tunnels under the city and came up inside the palace.
Wait. So you're saying you weren't coming for us?
I never had any intention of hurting you. I wasn't planning to kill you, but then I saw what you've done. No, I never had any intention of hurting you.
So I did all this. I ruined her. For nothing.
Look!
What have I done? Oh God, I feel sick. I can't bear the thought of her being like this. And in so much pain. It's the air coming into contact with her flesh. It's agonizing for them.
I'm sure.
But the only way to fix it will be to break the golden rule and let it run its course. At least that way she'd be golden again, and we'd be together. All it would take is one little cut.
Wait, what? Wait, I can undo this. No, I can't. I'd be only too happy to imprison you in gold. That's a very interesting offer. If I offer to make her gold, and she accepts my offer, shooting her would not break the golden rule, right? And they could all be golden together. I do not know what I could possibly mean by, wait, I can undo this. No, the fuck I can't. I don't know what the fuck that's referring to. Undo what? Is it referring to the time loop? I actually want to offer to turn her gold, but I don't know if that's supposed to come off as aggressive or if it's supposed to be like, look. I'll do this as a favor. Like, I don't know which one it will actually come off as to her. Let's try it though.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Damn it. I'm stuck. Survive the palace! I mean... Shit! Okay, so I guess that came off as aggressive. Wait, I can undo this.
It's too late. There's nothing you can do. I have to do this. I'm sorry.
Okay, I can cover her in gold again. I can wind back time and make it so that I never came here. Let's try that one.
What? Wind back time? What are you talking about?
I'm reliving the same day over and over again. You wouldn't believe me if I told you. The top one.
What? How is that possible?
I just need to get back to the shrine of Proserpina.
The goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. Of course. But I'm confused. If you've harnessed the secrets of the gods...
Because time loop.
why
Weren't you
tell
listening?
me?
None of this matters. Because you'll never remember this conversation.
I see. Well, I'll trust you to honor our bargain. But if you don't, mark my words. I'll break the golden rule and kill you and everyone else in this city.
Okay.
As a quid pro quo, here is the only thing of value I have left. The key to the chest in the Shrine of Apollo. There should be something in there that's useful to Lucretia.
I've already got a key to that chest, but thank you.
Now, please leave. The door here leads out onto the palace balcony. You should be able to make your way down from there.
Goodbye.
Go. And never return.
If I talk to the statue, will she fly into a jealous rage? I can't talk to the statue.
What? Are you still here?
Oh, calm down. I didn't see any sign of Scintilla in there. It's like a way up. More than a way down. Or is it? I don't think I could jump that high. That was pretty horrific. That was gross. Yeah. Okay. Whew. Okay, great. Let's see what we got in the journal. I did want to ask Sentius about, I think, one of the plaques, maybe. Well, now I know how to get up the vines and stuff. So excited. All right, so this does stay here. Yeah. Kind of thought it might. Little bit of money. Treasure hunter. Find treasure using the golden bow. There's some vines in the amphitheater, and there's something down in the lake. Oh, come on, pull yourself up.
Salve again, friend. I went and did as you were. How is it possible?
I'm busy right now. I have golden eggs now. I'm gonna go talk to that asshole that double-crossed me. Oh, come on. Okay, can I take it? Nope. Oh, right off to the amphitheater. Oh, and I want to talk to Desius. Hey, asshole. Where is he? I want to rub it in his face that I got out of
I
there.
wonder how much one of these statues is worth on the outside.
Obvious, the thief stole my purse and I. Whoever wrote this did not get to finish.
Oh, hello there, partner. I'm glad you're here. I think there might have been some confusion about my little practical joke earlier. You see, my plan was to give you a little fright. You know, like two friends joking around at the Saturnalia, and then, surprise, I'd open the door. But when I opened it, you were gone.
I don't believe you.
Partner, I swear, this is just a misunderstanding. Look, why don't you keep our bow as compensation?
I was gonna. You mean my bow? Don't worry, I'm keeping it.
Fine, fine. It's a credit to you that you're able to see the humour in all of this. Now, can I help you with something? Very well. Another time.
What else do I want to turn to gold? Oh my goodness, stop. That's a lot of money. How do you get down from here now? Cool. That whole thing was cool and awful and yeah, really well done. Like, wow, what can I turn into gold? Anything, everything? Anything organic? Search the Greek temple. Oh, it's the building next to that little shrine. Somehow I've never been in here. A Greek statue, probably of the goddess to whom this temple is dedicated. Perhaps a local Greek resident knows more about her. It is Demeter, we've already been told that. Demeter was the mother of Persephone and was responsible for all the seasons changing. Malleolus seems like he's probably Greek. He's got Greek stuff in his house. Man, we are going somewhere else again? We got loading screens? Oops. A crumbling Greek sculpture of a woman. Clearly this has been here a long time. Oh, man. There's a lyre. A Greek lyre played by being strummed with a plectrum. Wow, there's a lot here. Hi.
Come and join me by the fire.
Is he not Khabash? He's somebody else?
Welcome, welcome. May I ask your name?
I am Anna.
It's a sincere pleasure to meet you. Tell me, what brings you all the way down here?
I'm looking for Khabash.
Ah, Khabash. I know this man. He came through here some weeks ago. I will tell you everything I know, but first, a request. I have been living down here alone for many years, with nobody to talk to but myself. The one thing I long for above all else before I die is a good philosophical argument with somebody astute. I'm hoping that person is you. Let us find out with this simple question. Have you deduced the name of the god responsible for the Golden Rule?
I have.
Excellent. I see you are indeed quite astute. Very few come to that realization before their time in the sun is over. Now, will you join me in a friendly Socratic dialogue?
Sure.
Wonderful. Then let me begin with a question. Would you say you know the difference between right and wrong?
I'm not sure. It's a complex question. No, it's a simple question. It's a complex answer, but...
You are an overthinker too.
Yeah.
You're the same.
I am.
That's probably why I became a philosopher. But if you struggle
Who
with
are
right
you?
and wrong normally, then down here with the Golden Rule, surely your struggle can only have become more difficult.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, that's reassuring. And the truth is, you're not alone. You see, out there in the world, being uncertain about right and wrong was acceptable, because our mistakes rarely had consequences. So we would tell lies and bend rules, and turn a blind eye and rationalize, and yet still find a way to think of ourselves as good people. But under the Golden Rule, morality matters. The slightest wrongdoing could result in a mass execution. So to navigate this maze, we would have to be certain about the difference between right and wrong. Wouldn't you agree?
Whose version of right and wrong?
That is an excellent question, and it leads directly to my next line of inquiry. So let me ask you this. Is there one system of morality which is always perfectly correct, which you could follow in every situation and always do the right thing?
I don't think so.
Are you sure? Or is it possible that humans simply haven't figured out the right system yet?
No. I think there's no such thing as correct morality.
So is it up to each of us to decide what right and wrong mean to us individually? Or must we simply follow the laws and customs of whichever community we're in?
Some of both. That's why it's a complex question or a complex answer. It's a little bit of both. It's both. I really have to pick one? Ugh, I don't like either of them by themselves. Let's just say I think we need to follow the laws and customs of our community.
Ah, you know, I think you'd find an ally in Herodotus, a scribe from among my people who lived some 400 years ago. He told the story of a man named Darius, whose curiosity was piqued when he learned that a certain tribe had the practice of eating their dead. He asked some Greeks who burnt their dead, "What would it take for you to eat your dead?" Aghast, they replied, "Nothing." Then he asked the tribe who ate their dead, "What would it take for you to burn your dead?" "Nothing," they replied, equally aghast. From this, Herodotus concluded that custom is king, that right and wrong are merely local ideas which do not survive the journey from one tribe to another. I take it you're in agreement?
Generally, yes, but I don't think that that's like 100% universal.
Then let me ask you this. If you visited a tribe where they ate each other, copulated with the dead and drank wine from cups made out of human skulls, would you still maintain that within such a tribe there is nothing wrong with such conduct?
Yeah, sure. Let's just go with it. Let's go.
And while I do not agree with you, at least you would have the support of Herodotus.
Let's just keep our same philosophy consistent. What's your point?
My point is this. I don't think anyone alive truly knows any hard and fast rules about right and wrong.
Fair point.
If there is one thing I have observed about rules, it is that virtuous people do not need them, and evil people will always find a way around them. And so we must accept our limitations, and the sad truth that no human society will ever achieve the utopia for which it strives. In mathematics, we would call it an asymptote, a line that can be approached but never reached. Because the only way to create a utopia is with the ever-present threat of force, such as the Golden Rule. This and no other is the root from which a tyrant springs when he first appears as a protector. And life under tyranny is no utopia at all.
Yeah. Sure, why not?
I admit, I am talking a lot. Forgive me. I'm just excited to have company. In any case, thank you for humoring an old man. I would be happy to answer your questions.
What's your story?
You mean, how did I end up living alone in this cave with nothing but these relics of the past for company? It's a long story.
I'm listening.
I was a quarrelsome young man. At 19, I left Corinth for Rome to study rhetoric at one of her finest academies, so I could argue more forcefully. Back then, I used to enjoy verbally sparring with everyone I could, and I was good. One night, I found myself in a tavern, in an argument with a drunken mercenary. It became heated, he drew a gladius, and I won the argument, but lost my life. I woke up on the banks of the Styx at a campfire opposite Karen. Of course, I tried to persuade her to let me return, but even with all my skill, I failed. I settled in, made friends, and learned what I could, quickly realizing our little community faced certain death under the Golden Rule. So I began looking for a place to hide underground. Fortunately, I found this place waiting for me. You see, I was not the first to take refuge here. I returned to my friends above, persuaded them to join me, and 12 of us descended for the last time to live out our days hidden from Hades' tyranny.
Hades, you mean Pluto?
They are one and the same. The Romans call him Pluto, but long before that, my people called him Hades.
Why can't you return to the surface?
My generation was wiped out, turned to gold, many years ago. My friends and I were able to avoid the same fate by hiding down here.
Really?
I think it's safest to assume that if I was to return, Hades would realize that his furies hadn't finished the job, and he'd send them after me again.
Why can't you tell me your name?
I fear that if you were to utter my name in the city, even by mistake, that Hades would hear you and know I am still alive.
That's fair. Where is everyone else?
I'm afraid I am the only one left. There were 12 of us in the beginning, but one by one, my friends passed away. Some from malnutrition, others from madness and despair. It has been lonely. Before my unexpected visit from Khabash some weeks ago, I'd not seen another person in many, many years.
How have you survived down here? How long has he been down here?
Living in darkness is not without its challenges. The first challenge is diet. Fortunately, I found that eating fresh fish provides most of the nutrients I need. And sometimes, when there are Greek people living up above, I surface at night and salvage the offerings they've left in the temple of Demeter. The greater challenge is the isolation, so I like to imagine arguments, where I argue both sides. But, like so many things in life, arguments are better with a partner.
Let's talk about something else.
As you wish.
Do you know a way out of here?
Ha! If I did, would I be living like this?
What do you think about the Golden Rule?
Did we not discuss it at length already? Oh, I see. You're toying with me. Ha!
Do you know where I can find a plaque that was removed from the obelisk?
You seek the plaque bearing the Egyptian inscription.
That's the one.
It is a cursed object, and I would be happy to give it to you, if Khabash had not already taken it.
Alright, then tell me where Khabash is.
I will tell you, but you may find him hostile. To prepare for your encounter, there are certain things you must know. Very few know this, but before the Romans came to this city, it was once entirely Greek. The architecture, the temples, and the people. When the Romans came, in typical fashion, they claimed it as their own, built over everything that could be built over, and renamed the things that could not. Thus, the Shrine of Persephone became the Shrine of Proserpina. And when they found an obelisk bearing the name Hades, they tore it off and replaced it with Pluto instead. And the city's dwindling Greek residents, witnessing this compulsive Roman conquest, decided to preserve what they could of their heritage. They gathered their art and valuables, secreted them away through the Temple of Demeter, and hid them here, out of reach of the Romans.
I'm with you so far.
However, there was one thing that always seemed out of place to me, and it is the very thing you seek. An even older plaque bearing an Egyptian inscription.
What did it say?
We had no idea until years later, when the first of my friends began to die. As a result of their deaths, we began to dig catacombs branching off from this cavern to lay them to rest. We extended the tunnel so far that we accidentally discovered another, an even older tunnel, which somebody had gone to great lengths to keep hidden. Suddenly it made sense why there was an out-of-place Egyptian plaque among our people's possessions. You see, we proud Greeks had thought the Romans beasts for stealing and corrupting our heritage. But it turns out this game has been going on much longer than any of us imagined. I think it is best you head through the catacombs and follow Khabash's trail.
What's in there?
There are certain things you must see for yourself. Take this key. You'll need it to open the gate.
Alright. I will be going now.
I enjoyed our chat, but please, keep my presence here a secret.
Yeah, you got it. Huh. Okay. All right, let's do it. Let's go after Khabash. Let's see what we find. A friend of this philosopher. This must be one of the philosopher's 11 friends who he outlived. Egyptian board game. The board for an ancient game called Senet, the rules for which are long forgotten. There's all these Egyptian-like carvings. It's locked from the other side. Henry, you make a much better door than a window. Okay. That was different than the peeled statues. Oh no, Kensu, now I can't see it. Cats, move! Yeah, you guys are so cute. That's just flat out a golden statue. I don't know if crouching is sneaking. Oh my god! Why? Ah! I dislike this thing where there are golden statues that randomly come to life at me. An ancient Egyptian statue of a man with the head of a jackal. Could this be Anubis? I don't know, could it? An Egyptian plaque which translates to "the many shall suffer for the sins of the one." An Egyptian man looks like he was running from something. You don't say. An Egyptian clay vase. You can still see the paintings of animals and geometric patterns. What was once held inside is now nothing but sand. Collection of Egyptian bronze-bladed woodworking tools. Neat. Why? Oh, come on. That didn't get him. Where's the live one? Oh, come on. Oh, I stood in the fire, I think. Statue of Akur, the ancient Egyptian deity, is said to guard against evil spirits and welcome the dead to the underworld. Y'all aren't alive, are you? They look like they're just statues. That's him. That's Khabash. Hello, my guy.
Stop. Do not come any closer. Who are you?
I'm Anna. Who are you?
I am Khabash. And let me guess. Another Greek or Roman come to loot and plunder the resting place of my ancestors,
Do I look Greek or Roman to you?
Trousers, boots, curious hair. No, I suppose you do not. Then what do you want?
Just looking for an Egyptian plaque, but that's what he's worried, that I'm there to take Egyptian stuff.
To what end?
I want to return it to the obelisk or none of your business. Let's tell him I want to return it to the obelisk.
That is welcome news. You really are not Greek or Roman, are you? I was planning to return it myself, but for now, I must remain.
Oh,
Here, take it, and restore the honor of Osiris.
well, that works out, I guess. Osiris, Lord of Silence. That was a little too easy, but thanks.
Now, as for the other plaque,
The fourth plaque, you know about that.
indeed, I have it right here. I stumbled across a collection of dusty curiosities while searching for a place to hide from the hungry children of Amit, and there it was.
May I have it?
You may not. In fact, I am about to destroy it.
Why? Why?
Because it speaks a treacherous, blasphemous lie.
How so?
I will tell you. But first, do you know what this place is?
These catacombs? No. Oh, archaeologist insight. The do what?
Indeed. And I see you know our history. This is the Duat. See what has become of it. I have been down here for weeks, piecing together its story. And here is what I have learned. As Egypt declined and the Greeks had their turn to flourish, their souls came here in great numbers. But instead of adopting our ways, they copied and corrupted them. When they found the obelisk bearing the name Osiris, the true god of the underworld, they desecrated it, removing his name and replacing it with Hades. Even the ferryman of the dead, known to my people long before as Kerti, they renamed to Keron. As if that desecration was not enough, they built over this place, using it as the foundation for their own underworld, so that ours was forgotten. My only solace is that the Greeks then suffered the same fate when the Romans rose to power, renaming Hades to Pluto, and the cycle began anew.
So what's the problem with this plaque? I can see why you'd be unhappy with the Greeks and Romans. I mean, yeah, but like, I can see why you'd be unhappy with the Greeks and Romans.
I am glad to hear it, which brings me to this other, fourth plaque. It is inscribed with a script I do not recognize, but it is ancient, almost as if it is older than the plaque bearing
How
Osiris'
can it be
name.
blasphemous if you can't read it?
If that is so, it would imply the gods of Egypt are mere imitations too, copied and corrupted from an ancient people who prospered even before us, and that my people did to them what the Greeks and Romans did to us. But this, I cannot accept. I sense a deception. Perhaps it is the work of Set, the usurper, seeking to undermine Osiris once more.
I'm not gonna lie to him. I'm gonna just ask, what does the inscription say?
You will never know.
Oh, come on.
Sacrilege must be destroyed, thrown into the black abyss below in Osiris's name.
Stop, I need that.
You are too late. It is done.
Now I'm gonna have to go in after it.
You would plunge into the depths of the Duat with no way back up. Madness.
We'll see. First, I have some questions for you.
If it will help you to see reason, then ask.
What's your story? Oh man, after he did that, now we have to have like a pleasant conversation with him. God, I'm pissed at this guy.
I am from Rakotis, which you may know as Alexandria, the name of the city the Greeks built over it. I was a fisherman, like my father before me. Since the Romans had taken over from the Greeks, I took the opportunity to learn Latin and eventually traveled to Rome. When the fires broke out last year, I tried to help. I gathered terrified locals into my boat and led many of them to safety farther along the Tiber. On my 7th trip, a passenger demanded I wait for his brother. But we were full to almost sinking, and smoke was all around us. I told him his brother would have to save himself, and he tried to bribe me by placing a coin into my hand. When I refused, he drew a dagger and thrust it between my ribs. I awoke on the banks of the river to a stranger wearing a ram headdress. He said his name was Kirti, and at the time, I simply thought him odd. It did not dawn on me until much later that he was the Kirti, the ram-headed ferryman described in the Book of the Dead.
Do you know a way out of here?
This is where I belong, as caretaker of the memories of my people. If our ways are to be remembered, it falls to me.
What do you think about the Golden Rule?
I think if someone is to break the Golden Rule, it will not be me. For I try to live as I always have by the command of the goddess Ma'at. Do to the doer to make him do. As for the punishment that will come from it, I finally understand why it has long been said among my people that gold is the skin of the gods.
What do you think is down there?
I do not know. What could possibly lie beneath the underworld? Perhaps it is infinite darkness. Perhaps it is the lair of Amit, the devourer of souls. All I know is, it would be unwise to venture down there.
That just makes me want to go down there even more.
Is everyone so contrary where you are from? Do not even consider it.
I will be going now.
Good. Be gone from this place. Wait. You are planning to go down
I just
there.
told you I was planning.
I see it in your eyes.
People don't listen. Definitely.
You would plunge into the depths of the
he already
Duat
said
with
this.
No...
I'll find a way back up.
We shall see.
Okay, so that's what we're going to do next time. We're going to jump down here and see what happens.